Hello my Beatles friends, welcome back to another video. First of all, I'd like to thank every one of you who watched my previous video about US albums box set. I didn't expect it to be so successful. Lots of comments, lots of likes and views, and I'm really happy that you liked the video. I'd like to continue the topic, but a little bit in different direction. Since we're talking about American albums, I decided that I will talk about the American albums, but released in UK as exports. So in today's video, I would like to talk about 8 UK release export albums, and I'd like to break down each one of them. So today we are diving into one of the most unique and rare corners of Beatles history, the UK pressed export albums. These gems that you see here were pressed for military bases abroad and have unique catalog numbers, special labels, and fascinating stories behind them. So let me briefly show you the 8 albums that we're going to talk about in this video. The first 4 are American albums and the other 4 are UK albums. So the first one is Something New, The Beatles Second, The Beatles 6, and Hey Jude. These are the 4 capital albums that were pressed in UK as an exports. The other 4 are actually the original UK albums, which is The White Album, Abbey Road, Let It Be, and Yellow Submarine. You know why it's the last one.
EMI exported its records to countries and territories that had limited manufacturing capacity. In addition, the company sent discs to British and American military bases throughout the world.
First up, we have Something New. Originally released in the US by Capitol Records in 1964, this album featured tracks from the A Hard Day's Night soundtrack and other songs from their early catalog. However, the UK export version was pressed on the iconic yellow-black Parlophone label with the catalog number CPCS 101. That extra C in the catalog number was added to indicate that these albums were originally US releases on Capitol Records. These export pressings were specifically for British military bases abroad. There are 3 distinct variations of Something New export pressing. The earliest issues featured Parlophone on the rim text, but later versions changed to gramophone on the rim. The rarest of the variations is a unique misprint where the Sold in UK text was printed across the export record, which was not supposed to appear on export records. This misprint is incredibly hard to find and is one of the most sought after versions by collectors. As we all know, the UK covers, they are different from the US covers, and if we look closely at the cover, it resembles the British cover with 3 flips, and here on the back we have printed and made by Garrod and Lofthouse, patents pending, and the catalog number is CPCS 101. So this is the type of UK cover. The second export album is the Beatles' second album, again originally a Capitol release. The UK export pressing followed the same trend as Something New, using the Parlophone yellow-black label and the catalog number CPCS 103. And like Something New, there are also 3 variations of the Beatles' second album export pressing. The first versions had Parlophone on the rim text, while later versions switched to gramophone on the rim text. Sold in UK misprint also appears on some copies, making it an extremely rare and valuable collector's item. This album collected tracks that were either singles or unreleased in the UK at that point. Album number 3, Beatles 6, released in 1965. It included a mix of tracks from Beatles for Sale and few others. The UK export pressing came with CPCS 104 catalog number on the yellow black Parlophone label once again. Like Something New and Beatles' second album, Beatles 6 exports versions came in three label variations. The last American issued album, Hey Jude, which was released actually in 1970, unlike the earlier albums, Hey Jude was issued in 1970 on Apple label with the catalog number CPCS 106. Interestingly, this album can be found with a catalog number PCPCS, adding another P as a prefix on the silver black Parlophone label because the yellow black Parlophone label had been discontinued by 1969. Hey Jude also stands out as the only export album where the cover itself had a unique catalog number, unlike the others that retained their domestic UK covers. But here's where it gets even more interesting. There are some rare misprints of this album that make it even more valuable to collectors. Some versions feature an exclamation mark after the title or an extra space in the song paperback writer, splitting the words into paper, back, and writer. Even the song Revolutions sometimes appeared as Revolutions with an extra S. These were the American original issued albums. Now we're gonna go to the last four Beatles albums as they were released in UK. We have Abbey Road, one of the Beatles' most iconic albums. While the album was originally issued in the UK on the Apple label, the export pressings were unique. Due to contractual issues, the Apple label wasn't registered in some countries, so these export versions were pressed on the yellow-black Parlophone label with the catalog number PPCS 708, adding extra P. To indicate these were export versions, the rear Apple logo was often covered with a Parlophone or Odeon label sticker, making these editions highly desirable for collectors. Album number 6, the White Album. Similar to Abbey Road, the export version was pressed on the yellow-black Parlophone label instead of the Apple label for the same contractual reasons. However, unlike Abbey Road, the cover of the export White Album remained unchanged. The export version also bore the PPCX prefix in its catalog number, making it another gem in the world of Beatles collectibles. Album number 7, Let It Be. Let It Be, like Hey Jude, was originally issued on the Apple label. However, the export pressing was handled differently. Instead of pasting over the Apple logo on the back cover, like with Abbey Road, the export Let It Be albums were issued with a completely replaced Parlophone logo. The spine of the cover also bore the P in the catalog number PPCS 709. This slight difference in cover design makes the export version unique and valuable among collectors. And to find Let It Be export pressing on silver black Parlophone label is extremely hard to find. I still don't have it. So this is my on to-do list or to get list. Album number 8, Yellow Submarine. Last but certainly not the least, we have Yellow Submarine. This is by far the rarest of all Beatles export albums. What makes it truly special is that it's the only time an Odeon label album was ever pressed in the UK. It's believed that only around 500 copies of this export version were made, making it a true holy grail for collectors. The UK pressed Yellow Submarine albums used the original domestic UK cover but featured a red gold Odeon sticker on the back, along with the catalog number PPCS 707. This unique mix of labels and rarity makes it a prized possession for serious collectors. Thank you very much for watching. This was my Beatles export albums. There are some missing, a short summary. The Beatles second, which I do not have at all, and the Let It Be early pressing on Silver Black Parlophone I also do not have. And for that matter, I also want to find the Hey Jude on Silver Black Parlophone label, but it's easier said than done. Okay, it's gonna take some time to find them, and they are very expensive. Okay, so tell me in the comment section below which of these albums you have in your collection, how did you get them, and what do you think about these albums. And thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. But here's where it gets even more interesting. But here's where it gets more even interesting.